We have 6:30, we can call the meeting to order. Okay. First off, are there any modifications or changes to the agenda?
The only thing I have is, do it whenever, it's not really a change to the agenda. Last meeting, folks that were here, and then the board asked if we could invite somebody from the town for a police update. They don't have anybody coming tonight, but I talked to Dean, and I guess have a police update to give. That can be whenever, I guess.
Should I be under manager's report?
I can do it on a manager report or other business or whatever.
Yeah, we can put it just under there. Okay. Public comment. Anybody here from the public not on the agenda that would like to make a comment?
In the post office, the agenda included the 710 for the speed issue on West Berkshire Road. I'll have it in there.
It's on. Oh, I printed the wrong one. I added it. We can put it under other business. I did add it, and I must have went back and printed the wrong one after.
Yeah, it's not on mine.
Yeah,
Speeding? But on
I
yours?
went over it today.
Okay.
It's on yours?
I don't see it.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I must have reprinted the wrong one after.
Do you have, is,
It's not on there.
okay, you had the one from today, okay.
Must have went back to the original copy.
Yeah, I must have, because Eli and I talked about it, and I meant to add it, and I must have either forgot or I didn't print the right one.
Okay.
Want to add it under other business?
Sure. When is, we have Sierra here already for the
She's
presentation?
gonna be logging on remotely.
Okay.
She should be on any time now.
Okay, I just wasn't sure if we should discuss it before, just to give her time to get here.
We can, whatever.
Yeah, let's do 4.5. Do you have any comments, or you just? Yeah.
He's on the agenda.
The bell, right, okay, yep, fantastic. Okay. Not hearing any more public comment. Did everybody review the minutes? Or any amendments to it, or can we approve the minutes as written?
Make a motion, we accept July 8th trustee minutes.
Yes, thank you for the verification.
Hey, I don't have the 16th in here.
We don't have the July 16th.
That's the agenda.
That was, that is the agenda.
Yeah, no,
So-
those aren't in there.
No,
So-
that is the minutes. There was no minutes.
What?
No, that's the agenda.
Yeah.
There would be minutes, because it would have when the meeting was called to order and the adjourn and
Mhm.
that's
I
not
swear I
actual
pulled
minutes.
that.
I don't think you could have, 'cause I don't think I paid it.
Huh?
It was
Good
executive.
enough, because it was.
So we can approve that because that it's just, it's
We can do it the
agenda.
next
We'll do it the
meeting,
next
we just
one.
need to do the 8th today.
Okay, so we will not take a vote on the July 16th minutes, but for the July 8th minutes, I heard a motion to approve them.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Leonard. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Yeah.
July 8th minutes have been approved. Okay, so acknowledgement of Avis Jarvis for her service to the village. John, it's you.
I just added that in. Again, I just want to acknowledge her service over the years. I mean, I know she do it more as well, but she was worked down in Montpelier for the area as a representative. She was on the trustees. I know she's on many boards. And I remember when I first started for Gary at the cable company, she would come in often when she worked for the down in Montpelier and give us updates on broadband and all that stuff. I mean, it seemed very out and about in the community and very interested on what needed to be said and heard down in Montpelier for the area. So And again, I know she's on many other boards and things throughout her life.
Just to give her the acknowledgement that she deserves, you know, for the years that she put in for the village and for all the residents of the town as well. So,
Okay, was there something in mind?
no, just to have it acknowledged, it's in the minutes.
Yeah.
So it'll
Okay.
be memorialized in the minutes. And
Did I miss something?
Can I suggest that we have Avis
yeah,
dedicated on the next town report?
I'm sorry.
We can, yeah. I mean, we can write it down.
What was that one? I'm sorry.
For the next town report,
Oh,
to have her picture and an acknowledgement of her.
sounds good. Yeah, I think it's fair to say the board acknowledges all of what Avis has put into supporting our community. Okay. We're not making a motion on the village report right now, so we'll do the speeding conversation, follow up with that.
Okay. Yep.
Did we have something specific that you said you and Eli talked about something?
We didn't. I just know that last time it was brought up that it was 35 and pretty much everywhere else in the village is 25. So I don't think it was the board lady to discuss it further. Do we make a change on that speed limit on that road to the limits, to the town village limits?
I'm trying to recall, do we have any other roads that are 35? I know there was a long time, there was a conversation on
Pulled
water
the
tower.
ordinance after, because Shirley Dusso had asked me this question like a couple months ago, and I did look at the ordinance. This is the only one in the village that's 35, and it's for the first like 0.11 miles of West Berkshire Road. The reasoning behind that, I don't know.
So I wonder, because many years ago, we had talked about Water Tower Road for justification of like, because it goes 50 and then it goes 25, so that we had talked a little bit about wondering if it made sense to have a 35-mile-an-hour corridor to kind of slow people down. But we decided that didn't actually probably work, and that it wasn't worth doing that because there's a reason it's 25, and that's because it's the residential and it's safety for the community members that live there. So it would make a lot of sense perhaps to have all of the village roads the same speed. But were you gonna say something?
Just from personal experience, I see 25 or 35 people still drive 50. So. But I think the 0.11 is the only portion that is 25.
35.
No, because it's 35 from just
Yeah.
below at the bottom of the golf course. That travels all the way
maybe
to
I
the
have
village
that.
line is 35.
Right.
So
Alright.
there's about almost a mile, probably just over 3/4 mile section that's 35.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're discussing right now. They're talking about maybe dropping it back down, but I think it was brought up to that maybe during that conversation originally.
No, because
How
that
long
conversation
has
was
it been
about Water Tower, not West Berkshire Road.
Okay.
So
Oh yeah, starting 0.11 miles. Okay.
Right.
That was what was in my head.
Yeah, just as clarification.
Yep. No, thank you.
So that would require an ordinance change. Yeah, I can't think of a reason why it would need to remain 35.
Yeah, I think just the concept might be if and when we have coverage, just hurts a little bit more if you're doing
This is true.
if you're doing 15 to 25 as opposed to 15 to 35.
Right, and even for conscientious drivers, like being a few miles over the speed limit happens, but a 10-mile-an-hour difference becomes like a 30-mile-an-hour difference maybe, depending on in that area. Because if it's 35 and you're going a little over, it's 40. But if it's 25 and you go a little over, it's 30. That can make a difference.
And I'll just point, if this is just a point, good, bad, or different, but just interesting. Obviously, I think it's unfortunately everywhere. I've had 3 municipalities call me in the past month about our speed bumps, asking questions on them, what we thought of them, and all that, and logistics and all that. So, so obviously, communities are looking at it. Even some that have police coverage.
Yeah,
We put some in on Pleasant Street.
It was just within
Yeah, she told me
yesterday.
on that.
It was just within yesterday.
No, those have been in for a couple weeks in Sheldon.
Oh, in Sheldon, I was gonna say, the ones on Pleasant Street
Yeah,
just
we
went
just
up.
put-
So far, we're still seeing people speeding. It's a little high up on the road, maybe. I don't know. But, yeah, I don't know, how do we feel? Do we need more discussion? Look into reasons for the speed limit?
I don't know. It's not gonna slow people down. So I don't know how many people really take a look and see that 35-mile-an-hour sign and slow down.
Maybe moving it and extending it out a little further, because it is, as you're going down the hill, it's hard to get, maybe when you're coming up on the hill, it'll be a little easier to slow down. So if you leave it 25, maybe as you breach up the hill, and then like that transition area is not bad. Like I said before, though, unfortunately, people, if they're going to speed, they're going to speed. I hear it all night long. But maybe splitting the difference might give people a little bit more of a reason to slow down if they're going up the hill versus down the hill.
Yeah, that's pretty hard.
Because it is right in the bottom.
Yeah, Dave.
Are you dropping from 50 to, you dropping from 50 to 25?
No, it's 25.
50 to 30 foot.
It's 30.
It is 30.
It's 30.
Well, he's-
Yeah.
But are you considering dropping from 50 to 25?
That was kind of the discussion that
would
was
be-
pulled up.
And what's that?
Yep, that's the discussion.
That's what Watertown Road is.
That might be too much.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, if you are doing
Agreed.
like, even 45, drop it to 25.
Right.
I would love to try to find some social ways to just culturally get people to slow down. But there's multiple ways of addressing it.
I mean, last year, right, we had the radar speed limit sign there, right by Sam's driveway for most of the summer.
Did it slow people down over there?
But initially it kind of catches people's eye, and then after that, it after a month, it doesn't.
Is it possible to put it back there right now? Are they up anywhere? I haven't even noticed them.
No, we haven't put them up.
Could we put them up there for right now? It slows people down for a little while?
Yeah, put them up. Well, because we've been putting crosswalks and speed bumps up.
Yeah.
There's still another place.
I can ask if the anchor's still there.
But that I think the bump in speed does help. Gives that transition as you're talking. But it may be moving that maybe up the hill a little bit, because there's still a lot of houses beyond the golf course on both sides of the road. A lot of children.
Yes.
I see a new family just moved in. Maybe getting up beyond almost to.
Northwind Drive.
Yeah, just Northwind Drive, or maybe probably actually right there would be a good area to maybe try to make a transition a little bit less steep. As a thought.
I was gonna ask about.
Yeah, because it's very specific in the ordinance, the 0.11 miles. So for law enforcement to be able to write a ticket,
Yeah.
they need so we would still just have to do an ordinance change.
Is there something we can look into to see if it makes sense to do that change? I don't know if there's some way to ask.
It's gonna be an orange change either way.
Right, but I mean, does it make sense for us to do it?
Oh, yeah, I don't. Again, I think it'll help, and again, once we get police coverage again, that's when I think it'll stick. Because, again, it's 10 miles difference in a ticket.
That's all.
Yeah.
So we're doing 55. It's 20 miles versus 30 miles. I don't know the ticket breakdown, but
how to write it.
Anything over 20 could be a immediate loss of the license.
Be actually an arrest.
Oh, really?
Double the speed
Anything
limit
over
is
20.
it should be an automatic get arrested and a citation, technically, and a slew of charges.
So it does make a difference.
Yep. As long as you have an officer who has the ticket. Sorry.
I think I'd like to see the speed bump, or not the speed bump, sorry, the flashing light there. At least for right now, because that's a temporary something that we could do pretty immediately that we know works for a lot of people for at least a short period of time. Just kind of remind people to slow down a bit.
You're good with the same, I believe we left the anchor there. If there's an anchor there,
Sure.
you're good with that same
Both.
spot.
Yeah.
Just the one on those roads too. Water tower, so that's one there. Two.
I think water towers get ran over.
Yeah, got rid
Water
of
towers is not
There's
there.
red pole sticking right up out of the ground.
That's the, probably the speed up sign.
The speed bump.
I can ask Ken, but I thought.
The water tower one got
We didn't-
demolished.
Yeah, we didn't even,
We're getting an hour.
we didn't put anything back after it got run over.
Gotcha.
So, yes, if the anchor's there, but if it's not, somewhere in that vicinity is still good, in the dip as you leave town.
Yeah.
That's where it
Well-
was. Or do you want it as you come in?
Do you have a sense for the speedings? Is it speeding worse going out of town or coming into town?
I would say coming in.
Yeah, it's kind of what I was thinking too, like to remind people to slow down. So
Right.
as you're coming into town, they should see the sign.
So you're going 50 to 35 to 25
Yeah, it's a good reminder.
within
for
a
them.
mile. And,
Yeah.
Well, it would be more like 60.
well, right, yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
The nice thing with that too is also collects data that we can share with the state police.
So somewhere near Jackson's driveway in there?
Will this thing just flash, or will it take pictures, or?
Like, you can't do pictures in the state of Vermont. It'll just flash.
But it does like record like,
It does record speed.
so we know
and
like
time.
speed and time of day, so we can get like we can know when the
So
hot
you're gonna
pocket
have
times
some-
are.
Some
That's
data?
good.
Yeah, we used to give that to the sheriff's office and that kind
Yeah.
of helped them figure out where to go at certain times.
We could have a driving range on the, for the golf course, have them put a sign, walk through the golf balls.
Should probably be closer to 25. Unless that's where it was quite a ways up there before.
No, but before we had it right in the, as you're leaving the village, right in the dip, just as you started up the hill. It was on the right before Shirley's driveway, somewhere in there.
Would it work just there, just turn the other way?
We have to have
It's on the
on
wrong side of the
yeah, we have to have on the same side of the road.
So we can move the, I mean, I think it makes sense to have it close to one of the speed limit signs. Because it doesn't have its own speed limit sign, right? It just
It does.
It does.
Oh, it does have its own.
It'll flash the speed. If you're going, it says too fast, or until you hit the speed of 35.
But does it have a plaque with the speed limit on it? Okay, just
I
feel like
think
it's been a while
legally
since I've
they
seen
have
them.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, somewhere between where it's
You had that
35.
flashing sign in front of my house.
Yeah.
It didn't amount to anything.
Like I said,
Yeah.
Some people it will catch, just and
Some
remind to slow
people-
down, but
and then the first couple weeks,
Yes. If there's no penalty, they'll ignore it.
This is it. No matter what you do, there's no penalty.
The reason would be is it can't collect data.
they could, yeah.
So the most important reason is that right now is hopefully to slow some people down. That quick reminder of, oh crap, it's flashing at me, I'm speeding, I should probably slow down. And then the people that say, oh well, I don't care, it's at least capturing that data so they can say, okay, at 5:30 when a lot of businesses are getting done or whatever and people are zipping out of town, it's collecting that data, or first thing in the morning it's collecting it. So police, if you can collect that, you can have a police officer go when we get some coverage and say, this is a time we're seeing a lot of speed. And that would definitely help for them to pinpoint instead of sit in a spot for 4 hours where it's not really an issue at the time.
Yeah, I know.
I think that would really help, at least having that to back up.
Yeah, and it's a resource we already have.
And even though state police don't cover us, I mean, it seems like when they've gotten a call on an issue, they kind of hang out. So if we can give them some data,
Right.
maybe they'll come spend some time there.
Well, and every once in a while they have those speeding initiatives and stuff
Yeah.
too. So
One of the biggest things we can do as a community is just make those phone calls. Unfortunately, it may tie up a little bit of resources on phone lines, but the more you make, the more it becomes on the radar. If people are just watching people speed by and they don't know about it, they're not going to do anything.
All right, so speed limit signs somewhere in the vicinity of North Wind Drive, somewhere.
yeah,
And that's 35 still, so it's going to flash 35. Hopefully.
I totally agree with you. I think that people here need to make some noise. You know, I'm sure everyone watched the WCX video. This goes up here.
oh yeah,
Oh, in the parking lot?
yeah.
You know, and they've had like, they say 3 complaints or something. That's totally. I mean, I've been over there speeding a lot of hours, and I see that stuff all over.
Yeah, we've tried to work with the state on that, and we asked for them to create some restrictions within there that gave more jurisdiction to the police about like loitering and stuff, and they said that we can't do that. So when I was reading the article, like they missed that whole part where our board has discussed it, and it sounds like people need to be reporting it more too.
You know,
State's
as
responsible.
my DP, it's under
State
state control.
property.
They can control it.
Yeah, we've had a lot of complaints about garbage and stuff over the years, and not much happens about it.
Yeah, my understanding is it's maintained by like a third party or it's contracted out. So they kind of have their schedule and that's what they do. Doesn't matter if there's 10 million pounds in your garage or none. They just kind of have their maintenance schedule and they follow it unless they get a lot of complaints. So it doesn't hurt to call.
Yep. Yep, we've got the ordinance that they can't make noise after 10, but definitely open to ideas if they have other ideas of what we're allowed to do. Yeah.
Try to find out who to contact on the state to see who manages that kind of stuff. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I can get you with the information. Because I don't think it goes very far. We call the district up here behind McDermott's. And, I don't think they kind of throw their hands up too, because again, it's just a contracted schedule that the state hires to come do whatever maintenance is required. Because we did have requests for the lights, because some of the lights were out, and we got those, they came fix those, so.
Anything more with the speeding for now? On that agenda item, are we? Yeah, so for right now, we're just gonna do the speed limit sign change, and we'll consider an ordinance change potentially in the future. Okay. Okay, so now we have a Pearl Street sidewalk project update, with Sierra. Welcome.
Thank you. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Had a little bit of an echo, but I think I'm all good now. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. I think I am still getting an echo somewhat, and it's a little distracting.
Abby, are we muted?
That's really
That might help.
weird. Can you hear us still?
Let's see if that works. I can a little bit. Yep. Echo going away. Everyone can hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Great, so I'm here to give a very brief update on the Pearl Street sidewalk project that's currently in design right now. So here's a pretty great agenda right here, starting with 15 introductions, telling you again about the purpose of the project, a little bit of overview, and then giving you a view of the conceptual design where we're at right now. Talking a bit about the schedule, both past and upcoming, and then getting any input you all have. So we've been working pretty closely with both Gary and Abby from the town, or the village, sorry. And I'm Sierra Ford. I'm the project manager for the project and leading the design team over at VHB. And then we also have a VTrans project manager because this falls under a municipal assistance section. So the purpose of the project is to increase safety and visibility of pedestrians along Pearl Street, with the overall goal of improving walkability within the village of Enosburg Falls. So the project scope area was between Church Street and the Enosburg Park and Ride on Pearl Street, and trying to put a new sidewalk on the north side of Pearl Street. So this is a little less than 500 feet of new sidewalk, and the ideal typical section for the sidewalk was 5 foot wide concrete sidewalk on the north side with ideally some grass buffer to provide both snow storage and separation for those pedestrians to reach that project goal of safety for the users. So to share the one sheet really that we have for the design here, and this is the plans. I know some of this is probably a little bit hard to see with all of the callouts, but really it's just the overall context that we're looking at here. So you can see it's drawn over the aerial, and in the green we have, the proposed grassed areas as part of the project, and then that tan color is the new sidewalk. So we are putting a new sidewalk between Church Street and the Park and Ride, connecting to that existing sidewalk at the Park and Ride, and we were able to give a pretty good buffer there, about 5 feet in most cases, for that sidewalk offset to the roadway. And I do want to highlight at Church Street, there is a little bit of a change here. So in this zoomed in, I don't know if you can see my mouse, but I have a little inset here of the Church Street intersection, and we are adding a bump out here. There's a lot of utilities going on at this corridor, this corner, and in order to provide accessible crossing of both Church Street and Pearl Street in this location and safety for all users, we are designing a curved bump out here as shown. So being able to adjust any of the utility elevations in this area, but really not impacting the utilities to have to move anything around. We have a utility pole, we have a hydrant, and a couple bollards. I think we have a bollard that is blocking the hydrant, and I think that's because the hydrant is pretty much located in the roadway right now. So this is again safety for the utilities, safety for the pedestrians, and the bump out will be a means for that. So to briefly go over the project schedule, we kicked this project back off in July of last year. We worked through conceptual plans, and NEPA is an environmental national review that you have to go through if you're getting any federal funding, and this project is federally funded. So that NEPA process, you can see, it takes several months, and we really have to wait for approval in that process before we go into the next phase of design here. So as part of that municipal assistance section project process with the state, we're here at the public information meeting today to be able to get any necessary feedback after our NEPA review to move on into preliminary plans. And the timeline for those preliminary plans, we're aiming to be wrapped up with those and submitted into the village in September so we can kick off the right-of-way process. We have been working on those in the meantime, so we can turn these around pretty quickly due to the delay in having this, being able to have this public information meeting. But I think based on your feedback today, we can make any other necessary changes and keep moving that forward. And then we have, to follow the formal VTrans Vermont DOT process, we have to move into final plans and contract plans and documentation after that. So we're looking at construction in next summer and going out to bid in either the late spring or early summer. So that was really all I had. So I'm gonna open it up to any input that anyone has. And I can go back to that slide where we show the conceptual design.
Then maybe you need to step out if you wanna look at it, you can just take a look at it.
One thing I will highlight is the town owns the previous National Guard property now.
we can't.
And we are going to be removing a bunch of those trees as part of the project. That
The
was
sidewalk already goes.
well thought through by all
No,
parties.
there's no sidewalk there.
And that was
This is gonna be a complete brand new
ultimately determined
sidewalk.
as
So they're gonna go
something that
put
will,
sidewalk back to
the sidewalk
fence.
coming through there will ultimately
There's a
kill those
fence along the
trees,
side there.
with
From the
all of the
property.
trimming that is required and
Tree.
any of the root excavation
It's not
that is
tree
going to
tree at all.
have to happen.
It's
So
on
ideally in
Pearl.
the future, some trees are replaced in
That's
those
Pearl Street.
locations, but that would
You
be
see where it
ultimately
takes
up
the
to the
corner?
town.
Looks like they're adding a
And
buffer.
I think I
on
updated everyone. I did go to a select board meeting.
Otherwise, we are protecting.
We're muted, so she's not gonna hear you.
I did go to the town.
Sorry.
They have agreed with taking the trees down, and Sierra sent me some great information about some funds that are available for tree replacement, and I've offered to kind of assist the town in kind of navigating and looking into that a little bit more so we can get some of those trees replaced
Awesome, that'd be really
in the front
wonderful.
yard.
And Sierra, I did talk with the folks on the corner there and made them aware you'll be reaching out.
Yep.
So far, they seem to be okay with the whole project. I kind of explained to them what the plan was.
Yeah, so that next phase of the project will be the right-of-way plans, and that's where we will show exactly how much impact we are inflicting on this property. It's really just some temporary rights to install sidewalk. The whole sidewalk will be within the town's right-of-way.
Looks like they're gonna pull.
How big is that bump out on the corner, Sierra? I know this is the first I've seen the bump out.
Grass barrier. It's gonna come
I
out
think it
right there.
extends 4
Right
feet.
there, where she's pointing.
Into the road?
Yeah.
So how far is that gonna come
Yes.
out into the road? Is
That's
that
true.
gonna cause an issue?
From the
That's for
existing
sure.
edge of sidewalk, which is pretty much even with
Because
the
there's already a
edge of
sidewalk
road, I don't think you
here.
have any, you don't have any buffer right now between the sidewalk and the road.
Not in that stretch, no.
How far out was that buffer?
4 feet.
4 feet. 4 feet out.
Is there a pole right there in that corner?
There's
Yeah,
pole and a
there's
fire.
That's the reason for the bump out. We will have to, well, I think this is gonna go around the hydrant and where the guy wire is, so we won't have to move a lot with the utilities. But we can take a look at that too, Sierra, especially with a pole and the guy wire. If there's another option, I can talk to our crew about that. I'm a little, 4 feet seems like a lot out in that.
Yeah, I'm just a little worried about like
Intersection.
bottlenecking and
Yeah,
congestion.
that
Yeah.
corner,
Bringing it out.
that in
It's kind
corner
of
is
a
kind
pain
of,
anyway.
yeah. So we may have to revisit the bump out in all honesty, cause that's pretty far out there for that corner. And we can talk with our crew internally about the utilities there and see what options we have.
It's a busy pole.
Yeah,
Yeah, what vehicles are, do you know, making that turn? I mean, obviously we have to account for any emergency services, but.
it's just the Pearl Street that you're pulling out onto is Route 105. So it's, you have tons of like tractor trailer, truck and farm equipment. Church Street,
I mean, I used to pull out of there quite a bit with a trailer, not anymore, but yeah, I'd have
Yes.
to wait for the other side to
Yeah.
clear so I could come out and around.
yeah,
So I
it's
need to pull.
definitely gonna create a little bit of a traffic hazard there, trying to pull off of Church Street with having that bump out. So let me talk to our crew and see what we can do about the utilities and if we can maybe avoid, especially 4 feet is pretty significant out into that lane.
I wonder if is there a way like we can kind of mark that out? To
Yeah,
take
I'm
a
not
look
even
at
involved
it?
in any of those discussions as well, so keep
Okay.
on the loop.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we could do like little trial stuff like we did a long time ago with the Vital Village, to just kind of like really see what it would be like to try to turn out of that.
Yeah, I don't know how a snowplow would
It's another good point.
Yeah, Ken's not gonna like that.
make that corner. I don't know.
Right.
With a wing.
Yeah, especially turning right.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
would make a difference.
Okay, so
You can
we'll
go
definitely have to revisit that Sierra, that bump out, but I guess the first step will be John and I can have a conversation with kind of our crews here and see what options we have on that corner.
Maybe she wants to come up. Set the
That
time.
sounds good to me.
If you want to pay for it.
Staff recommend.
Okay.
Do we have any other questions or comments?
Can I ask a quick question? What was the driving force for this project?
Well, it started because the town acquired the old armory, and they're intending to put at the very least the town offices there, and we would very much like to continue having a walkable community and for people to have access to access the town offices in a safe way. And as we were talking about it, we thought, well, if we're already going to go to the town offices, maybe we could go to the park and ride for those who are using the park and ride services. Yeah, and we got a grant to cover it.
Yeah, we're just thinking events. So like when we have dairy days and stuff, people park over there and mix it.
That's what I figured.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Okay. Well, if there's something else, thank you, Sarah, and Abby will be in touch. Or John, one of you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
This is Abby's project.
Thank you all.
Have a good evening.
Have your name.
Bye.
I love how quickly we were upon stuff. I mean, we're like that.
Yeah.
I tried.
John who?
Like,
No, it's all good. He's not wrong.
Okay. Well, that's exciting that we're moving forward with that.
I'm still annoyed at late 2026 construction. That keeps getting
Yeah.
pushed and pushed and pushed because it was supposed to be spring, but the NEPA review actually took longer than we had anticipated. So that held us up and pushed the timeline.
This is
Yeah.
one of those fundings that it's ours, like we don't have to worry about losing it at this point.
Yeah, so the grant is through the state of Vermont, but they're receiving the funds federally. My understanding is they already have the funds for this, so we should be
Okay.
fine.
That's like the tug and pull of like grant stuff. So we're funding it ourselves. We can generally do things pretty quickly, but with the granting, it seems to add at least a year to a project. But we didn't have to raise it through
Right, which
local taxes, so
is great.
so we'll do it. Plus, at this point, like we're not in like the quickest rush right now with that project, at least.
We have to
Okay.
check, because I do think there is a 2026 deadline, so, for the funding, but
Yeah.
that's a new problem.
Awesome. Great. So next up, we have a motion for the Bell and Maple Park to be erected.
Well, okay, I guess to begin with, so I came in and asked for permission to put the bell over in the park. You folks gave me preliminary permission, and you wanted a document indicating some different things about it, like who's gonna be responsible for it, who's gonna maintain it, this sort of thing. I brought that back, and then you gave me approval to do that. The fact that there wasn't a motion involved in that discussion may be an issue down the road, I don't know. But I think it's important that there be a motion made. So that's basically what I'd like to have you do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
We're just looking for a motion.
Yeah.
Make it
It's been-
official.
Yeah. Yep. No,
Officially
that's good.
official.
Do we have? I don't think I remember seeing that sort of something in the packet.
Yeah.
Just to refresh our.
Oh, no, I didn't put that in there, because we'd already kind of approved it, but. You wanna speak to it, Dave?
So, someone here needs to make a motion.
No, you
Oh,
wanna
yeah.
speak to the
Right.
project?
What
Yeah.
I wanna do is, I just wanna let you know where it's at.
Yeah,
If Jason wasn't here.
I was not
Right.
here, so.
yeah, so
Yeah.
speak to the
Just
project.
give me a
Okay.
good overview real quick, so I can make my best choice.
So about 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, I don't know, time really flies now. We tore down a church in West Enosburg. The only thing, that church had been there many years. And the only thing that is left of that church is a bronze bell. It's pretty good size, it weighs about 1,200 pounds. And it's been kicking around for that period of time. We came up with the idea of setting it up as a monument. We looked at some different places, looked at beside of the Methodist church over here, and that seemed to be a good fit because it was a Methodist church in Enosburg. So that's basically it. I came in and asked for approval.
Okay.
We are, at this point, I don't know if any of you have gone by there, but that's a photo this afternoon of where we're at. You have to excuse the yellow paper, I got a deal on that.
Looks like the sun's shining on
I'm gonna use it
it.
for the rest of my life.
Who's doing your woodwork?
That is Nick Boylan. Nick Boylan, yeah.
So can I be,
It's to the right of the church, in the park.
So, right now, the bell is over in the armory, and tomorrow morning, Gary is going to come over and help us remove the bell from the armory, take it outside, and it's gonna be the top portion of it, which is a cast steel, it's gonna be sandblasted and painted. It's gonna be sandblasted on Thursday. Painted, and then at the appropriate time, it'll be put in the structure.
The only request I have is, can we still ring the bell so I can wake up Kevin?
No.
I told Kevin that's how I wake him up every morning.
We gotta fix that.
I would never jump on what you guys had already discussed. My only concern is just 1,200 pounds.
Okay.
What's going to keep it from sinking in the ground?
Those, have you seen that?
I have not.
Structure, there are 6x6 posts over there, they are
Okay.
about 5 feet in the ground,
Okay.
with concrete around them.
With concrete. And it's going to set on the base, or is it going to be lifted?
Those two posts, we've made 2 steel brackets. They get screwed to those 2 posts on the inside. The bell has 2 shafts on it that it originally pivoted on.
Pivot on.
They're gonna drop into a saddle, which will support it.
Is it going to be lifted off the ground?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Do you have the picture from Derby?
I do.
They have the same affair
Um,
in Derby.
I say I saw this in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I'm all up for it. though. I think that's a wonderful thing. that the village has.
yes, I have some.
I just have big concerns about weight and make sure nobody's underneath it crawling around, and is it gonna be fenced off or?
In Bakersfield,
Yeah,
in the
they've got one
park,
in
they
Bakersfield.
got one over there.
That's
Yeah,
the
it's
bell.
open.
This we can't
We can still ring
sandblast.
that. I'll
The
do
bronze.
It's bronze. You can polish
This we
it.
can't. So we're gonna sandblast it and paint that. And this is the structure that we are basically copying.
Gotcha.
That bell is a little smaller,
Right.
so we have bumped the structure size on this up just a little bit.
And we had asked them not to have the clanger, or whatever you want to call it,
Well, yeah.
post in place, so nobody can ring it.
Right. Any reason to not have somebody underneath it would be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, so that's the basics.
Okay, what is the language for a motion?
I'd say a motion to allow the completion of the bell structure in the park.
Okay. Please remind me. There we go, can't talk and write.
Agree with
Okay.
that? You read?
What we had decided, is the village taking ownership of this? I'm just not remembering that, this conversation.
That was
Well, I
the
didn't-
last meeting, that was the letter that David had brought in. I probably have it in my desk, but that they're gonna maintain it. It was from, I think Paul Stanley signed it, right, with the Methodist Church?
Yeah.
So the Methodist Church is gonna maintain it, all we are doing is providing the location, and the rest of the maintenance will be the responsibility of the church.
I just think that should be in the motion as well,
Yeah.
so that it's read in the minutes.
Yep.
Okay. Methodist Church. Okay. So I will take a motion to approve the completion of the bell structure in Maple Park, with the bell being maintained by the Methodist Church.
I make,
Go ahead. You can.
I make the motion.
Okay, Leonard made a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay. It's formal.
Okay, thanks.
You're official now.
So I just want to say a couple other things. We have been fortunate to have a donation with a stipulation of roughly $5,000 to buy a Amish shed for the skating. And the stipulation is if the town would also commit to spending up to $3,500 to finish the inside of the shed. So the select board has in fact done that. So it looks like we're gonna end up with a heated shed
That's awesome.
this season,
That's
Nice.
great.
hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank
So-
you.
Great news.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Where's that?
The skating shed over by the armory?
Oh, right.
Yeah, just what's in the armory.
Okay.
Oh,
Just-
where I poured it. Here's that one back.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay. Item number 7, new curb cut at 223 Pleasant Street.
So, there's a map. I've written up a quick description. And I've talked with Ken and we've gone over it with him, so we're just looking to get approval. So the house is right on the corner of Pleasant and Railroad. They currently have a curb cut and parking behind the house. They're looking to move for access reasons. I guess they have someone that's gonna need access to easier access to the house, to the front door. So the request is move the driveway over to Pleasant Street.
So would they be getting rid of the railroad side, or is it gonna like horseshoe through their property?
No, it's just gonna be, they may use the railroad side, but it's mainly gonna be on Pleasant Street is where the parking is gonna be. It's not gonna go around the building. It's just gonna be it's not gonna horseshoe around. It's only
So like
gonna
it's not gonna, it's not meant to connect back to.
No, that's the drawing.
I
the
think
drawing.
they park on the oh, okay, I see where it is.
Yeah.
It's at the end of it, okay. I don't think there's actually, they park right there.
Yeah, they're only gonna go about 20 feet in. I mean, like concerns we had, there's basically the ramp. There's a ramp at the house next to them. We basically just asked them to copy that ramp. There's drainage right to the right of it, and it slopes that way, so even when they put that ramp in, it won't create any issues with water runoff. And then we asked for them to stick with their drawing because their water line is to the right, just for their purpose, because they don't want to do anything their water line. But other than that, I mean, I talked through it with Ken and we had no issues with it.
Any further questions?
And as long as it falls in compliant with this from neighboring properties and all that,
Yeah,
should be no issues.
I don't see an issue with that. Would anybody like to make the motion to approve the new curb? Following consistency with the sidewalk ramp, and that they stick with the proposed map for the location so that they don't interfere with their water line.
I make the motion, we approve it.
Want to make a motion?
I'll second that.
Just and second. All those in favor say aye. Okay. Next up, we have a water allocation from both Spears for Duffy Hill Road.
So this is a domestic dispute between Abby and I.
It's been a point of contention.
So, I didn't print out all the paperwork, but basically, basically almost exactly a year ago, Spears came in looking for a wastewater and water allocation, off of his old, existing driveway off Duffy Hill by, near the turnaround, or by, Island View Park. At that time, so the board did approve both the water and wastewater. But at that time, we weren't 100% sure on the pressure. And there was thoughts where Mr. Spears might have to put a pump or something in like this. So he paid and acquired the wastewater permit, but didn't follow through on the water side, and he looked to drill a well. I think other things happened in the world, and him and Hong going back and forth on all of the project. He came back to us. We had the water crew go out, and they tested the pressure again, and we're thinking because of all the new water lines and the bigger main coming through, that it now passes the pressure test in that area. So he's asking now, again, he's already paid the water allocation, so I guess we're just looking for reapproval or the change order of the approved water allocation. I've already talked with the water guys, they see no issues. Talked with Ken and wastewater, because he is gonna bore under the road. Our main line comes right along, if you're going out of the village, right on the right side, right inside the gravel of the Island View parking lot, is where our main line goes up to, obviously Mrs. Wright's house up there on the hill. So he's gonna have it bored under the road, so we're not digging the road up or taking the pavement up at all. He's having it bored and then run up across. We're gonna have a shut off on both sides. We'll have a shut off on the right side of the road, and then he'll have a shut off on the left side of the road near his driveway. It exists now. We got letters of certificate of insurance today from him. So that's what
I think our crew's kind of overseeing it a little bit and doing the tapping.
Yeah, and our crews should oversee that.
Is it coming through on the same side of his driveway?
No, it's on the
On
other
the same
side.
side as his house? Sorry.
No.
So if
No,
you're
it's-
looking at his driveway, they're digging on the right-hand
On
side.
the right-hand side?
Yeah.
Yeah, his driveway.
Okay. And is it gonna come through straight across into the parking lot? Or is it gonna go at an angle? to
Straight.
hook in?
The bore is straight across.
So they'll have to dig up part of the parking lot.
Yeah.
Who's responsible for the hookup to the village water line?
Well, our crew will
That
be,
your
He's gonna
crew
do
will
it.
do
yeah, our
that?
crew will be there for that portion of it.
So
correct.
we'll own to the hookup and he'll own beyond that first shut off?
We just, no, we own, the other side of the road.
So we'll
We
own
will
the
send,
other side of the road.
yeah, so, and we'll be invoicing him for any labor and materials.
Does this, okay.
This is more just kind of an update, so when we send the approval letter, at the time the approval letter was sent stating that at the time he was drilling his own well. It has since changed, and number 2 in our procedures is that any changes to the scope of the project have to come back before the board for the final approval. So yes, he paid, he's all set to go in that respect, but just need to update the board on, because it's a major change in the plan from what he initially presented, and get the approval to go forward. And typically in the past, we've had Gary was very specific about what companies could tap into our main line, but our crew has made the decision they are going to do it. And they're kind of overseeing, and they've been working closely with Billy on this project, so.
Sounds pretty good.
Is this gonna shut anybody off when they tap in?
No,
So there'll be, because it could be, there's one lot, it could be 2 lots up there at some
Yeah.
point.
Okay, that was actually one of my other questions. Is it gonna be able to, are we gonna be able to use that same line
Across the road.
to
Yeah.
make sure if
But
we
we're
need to
gonna-
hit, because there's several other houses up in that area, but
But we will
Just 2
put,
lots.
if he decides to do that, we'll have another shut off for that other house.
okay.
So each house will have its own shut off at the bottom of his
On-
driveway.
On the bottom of his
His
driveway,
driveway,
okay. So not in the parking lot?
Right.
Okay. When they plow that, because you said you'll have a shut off on each side, when they plow in that parking lot, that'll be very
Yeah, it'll be down.
good? Okay.
Yeah.
Is, anybody up for making a motion to approve the water allocation?
I would just say the modifications.
The
because it was already approved,
modification
so it would
of-
be the
yeah.
amended or the modification,
Okay.
modified plans.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the modified plans for Bill Spears' project?
So,
Oh, okay, sorry, yeah, okay, the card drove by.
yes.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay, seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. So we now have a follow-up discussion on ATVs in the village. As requested last meeting, John drafted a potential ordinance for us to review and determine if we would like to present this to the public.
Can I make a comment?
Yes.
Do you think it would be wise to have a pilot interim,
A pilot interim? What do you mean?
pilot program?
Like a 5-year or something?
Before it's signed into law?
I think we would have to make an ordinance change, but at any point we could then change the ordinance back, right?
So
Or
right
can we?
now, our ordinance does not allow ATVs or UTVs on the road. So we would not be able to do a pilot program without making this necessary ordinance change. Because right now, our ordinance prohibits it.
How is that ordinance put into place?
What do you mean?
It's
I mean, it
our,
kind of doesn't matter because you can always come, if you could do it for a year or 2 years and then go back and make that adjustment, but it would have to be an ordinance change.
I'm just saying, would it be a wise thing to do? It's harder to get out of it than it is to get in.
And this tonight, just to be clear, this is the ordinance written. So the discussion tonight would be to discuss the ordinance. And then, again, hopefully more folks would show up and then vote on whether you have the ordinance or not. And then the board would have to vote on how they want to vote on that.
Why, let's put it out for general vote.
Right, well, so we discussed that we will have a publicized meeting that specifically speaks on the ordinance and help people understand what regulations would be in place and for more opportunity for the public to express concerns or interest in the ordinance change. So far, we've heard from a couple of the group of people who requested it and advocacy for it, and a couple of people have attended meetings about it, but as a board, we want to hear more from the community about this. It'd be a big change.
Are you assuming with the ordinance that it would be passed, that you would allow these vehicles on the street?
That's what this ordinance, so this is
That's what this
a
ordinance-
draft ordinance to see what it would look like if we were to allow them on the streets. So what the restrictions would be for them.
So essentially, this is just a review of the ordinance. And then the next steps would be to make a change if there's something somebody didn't like. Or if they're like, yes, 100%, then the next topic would be, do you put it to a vote at some point?
but we discussed having a public hearing on it.
or whatever, next
There
step.
would be a vote to either allow or
Accept or deny the ordinance, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I was just kind of like trying to walk through the motions of what it might look like if we were to do it. I know I had a couple of questions when I was reading through it, but if anybody else wants to jump in first.
And I'll just preface by, we can definitely talk through it. So I did have the village's lawyer read it, so I basically took it off VLCT, because they kind of have an ordinance draft that you can follow. So I wrote it off that and then put it in front of our lawyer. So I guess legally, it's pretty well on what needs to be written up and follows a lot of the other ordinances that have been written recently, like Highgate, Swanton, and so forth. So.
Just want to follow up, Dave, from my perspective at least, it's easier to talk to the community with an idea of what it might look like rather than just a vague concept of what we may or may not do. Does that make sense? Okay.
well, I guess I don't know if you would want to go and ask for their approval or not without an ordinance in place.
So, yeah, that's what the draft is for.
Yeah, that's why we're working on the draft.
And then,
Yeah.
and then with the public comment, you'll have several people that come in, maybe opposed, and several people that, and then we'd have maybe a special, is that what we're saying, maybe a special meeting?
That's what I'm hoping for, is to have a meeting where this is the topic and that it's well
Right.
publicized so people.
At the town, at the hall or something,
Yeah.
that way people can have their voices heard.
Not necessarily vote on yes or no at that meeting.
Right.
People,
In case there's some drastic
it-
stuff
yeah.
that needs to be changed, maybe somebody brings up that's not known.
right.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, so my point, I guess, was legally, this is pretty much it. There may be things like Heather brought up, like we may have to discuss, that
Right.
might not be in here per se, but like parking.
Right.
Where do they park?
Right.
If they come into the village, type of thing.
Right.
Is it possible to get a copy?
Yeah, I can go run you off a copy.
I think I have that mine. I purchased them all.
Oh yeah, you can have this one.
So I can rip mine up front.
I shouldn't be so involved in living in the village.
Hey, we love your input.
Can't help it.
You're here enough. You can be a temporary resident if you want.
The only thing I had to say, I think, was still the two-wheel thing. It says no less than 2 wheels. So it makes it seem like everybody's motorcycle, I know it's an ATV thing, but it does still make it seem like, dirt bikes or unicycles. The only people that can't come in here are unicycles, so. And then on the map.
That's rough. I just
Right.
together to put in there, but
I think a large part of the community that you may see side by sides if they do come in and to spend money, maybe on Depot Street, between food, baits, maybe
yeah, I have
us.
it. I think I have it on there.
Yeah, it's Depot to Archambault Street.
Oh.
I think it's just not on the map.
But that doesn't bring you to like baits or.
We could, I mean, yeah, the map's a little bit more, because I thought some of the ATV folks were back to discuss more of that. So I just kind of threw that on there
Okay.
as a preliminary thought.
Right.
I was hoping to get more of their input on what they thought they would go visit while they were in the village.
Right. I did notice there was some names going around, a petition or something before. I thought they were gonna be here tonight with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I just threw that together, but of what we kind of originally talked about.
Right.
But if there's expansion or decreasing or whatever,
Right.
that's fine. I just So that's initially what we kind of brainstormed.
Okay.
Some, like, when looking at the definition of all-terrain vehicle, like, does that include, like, the golf carts, dirt bikes?
Of course, golf carts.
We got special one fixed out
There's
for
already a
John.
pile of those programs anyway.
Well, it's funny because,
Inside joke, I forgot.
yeah. It's funny because I was in Cape, I've been traveling around all these little towns for baseball, and we were in Cape Cod, and there's like 3 golf carts parked in parking lot spots, and I'm like, with regular license plates on them. So when I came back on the Monday or whatever, I researched to see what their laws were, because I was kind of surprised to see that. So theirs is actually wouldn't really work for us. It's a NTU or something they call it. So basically the machine can't go over 20 miles per hour. And then you can get this special license plate and be able to drive it on the streets or in villages. So,
Not sure I'd be opposed to that.
which, yeah, I thought about that. I'm like, so how do we...
He wants one.
For the village. No, I don't want one. The village needs one.
The village.
But we have a lot of projects we do.
Yeah.
He's not wrong.
Hey, John, I've got an e-bike and it's really great.
I gotta be able to put a water pump. She makes me water all the flowers.
If this
That's true,
if this
too.
goes through, it just gives you a UTV, an ATV.
Yeah.
Tyler sell yours, he keeps trying to sell ours.
So yeah, it was funny because I saw that in Cape Cod, and then I actually saw it in Old Orchard. I don't know if you saw it, Jason, but
You know, Old Orchard's full of them.
Yeah.
Like 8-seaters and everything.
Yeah.
They're like buses. It's wild. So as to the dirt, because I mentioned the same thing because it says something about 2 tires in here, and I think that they would have to be part of a club, right? This specifies that to be part of a club
That was
to
one of the other
come through
questions.
here, and you can't have a dirt bike in a club.
right.
So it's only for 4-wheel vehicles.
Yeah, and I wanted to relook at that section, where does it say that it has to be part of a club? Which section was that?
Section 8. No.
Okay, yeah, it is, yeah, okay, so display a valid VASA trail access decal. Is VASA the only club? Should we add something in there that says, or other state?
That's
This is not a club.
So VAS is an organization, but
That's what I
there's
meant, yeah.
individual clubs.
Right, that's what that's what I
Right,
meant,
right.
I would just, but are they the
So-
only one that oversees, because we don't want to write the ordinance so specific that if there's another organization besides VASA,
There's no.
okay,
So there's several clubs with it. It's like VAST. There's the
Snow
JP
riders.
High Riders. I'm not. I don't know all the names, but there's several clubs, but they all fall under VAST. VAST supplies the stickers to all those clubs.
okay,
So it kind of does that for you, so you don't leave anybody out.
okay, so there's no reason to broaden that language.
And again, that's
Okay, okay, just wanted to make sure.
Again, that's how Vermont League of City Towns wrote that.
Okay,
It's kind of
okay, just feel like I've been reading a lot
No.
about ordinance creations lately, and it's just like they specifically say leave things a little broader if you have room to for certain stuff,
Yeah.
so that you don't have to rewrite if there's another organization that just hasn't made its way up north or something.
I think the concept is that the ordinance kind of covers the village, but then you're also under the umbrella of because they're gonna come in and put the speed limit signs up. They're gonna do all that, all the marking and all that. So you're kind of under the umbrella of their guidelines as well.
I think.
I have a question. Go ahead.
Sure.
It's scary.
Under penalties, number 6, section 8. Considered public property.
There's a section in here that number Section 10, operation on public property and cemeteries, defining them. I was wondering if we should add parks to that. It's not actually a trail, but I have actually seen them, factory parks.
Technically,
That would be-
public property.
Yeah, that's public.
That's public. That's the public property part that says, don't drive through a park. Were you saying specifically?
Well, because it lays out public bike paths, hiking trails, highway, garage property, recreation fields, property owned by the Missisquoi Valley Rail Trail. And then it says again about public or private cemeteries within the village.
So
And I
just
just
to add-
wondered if we should add parks to it
Parks.
as we're listing out
parks.
everything else.
Because there is a sidewalk that goes through the middle of it and it can be construed.
It almost makes me wonder if we need to lay out sidewalks too. I know that like there's just specific rules, but I just,
Technically, then the streets are not public property.
Oh, so you're saying the opposite, that if somebody is on a street, technically they're on public property, so
Well-
by this saying that they are essentially breaking the ordinance.
Is that something that could be challenged with
Well, except for the
ACLU or?
except for the map.
so it could
The
say,
map is
and roads
designated.
not designated in, not approved in this ordinance.
Yeah, I think you should add at least,
I don't even own one, and I'm
The
looking
town.
for a way to get out of paying the fine.
I do think you should include like Maple Park, Lincoln Park.
Yeah, just writing parks
Like
and,
parks, because you got Island View Park, you got.
Yeah.
the
yeah, so
Take
I don't think we need to list all
Who
of them.
knows
but
what
just-
other parks I'll put in by the
Yeah.
time I'm done. Let's be real. There's lots of flowers to be planted, people.
So there is just like it has a map, but I think it also is, there's verbiage. There's verbiage onto what streets are gonna be,
Yeah.
right?
Not sure I like the definition. It's confusing.
Which
That
definition?
first sentence, that an ATV means any non-highway recreational vehicle, including side-by-sides. And then you have a comma, except the snowmobiles, comma. So if we took that out, that sentence would continue after side-by-side having no less than 2 low-pressure tires. How does a side-by-side have only 2 tires?
No less than.
Yeah, so it means it could have more than.
More than
More
two.
than 2.
But, yeah, but it says no less than 2, so it's 2 or more.
Right.
The side-by-side's gotta have more than 2 tires.
But that's what Jace was saying, so it kind of defaults to then you have to be part of VASA,
Which
which
doesn't
only allows
Allow difference.
ATVs.
I've never heard of a 2-wheel ATV.
We have those hunting rigs there.
Those are actually kind of nice.
Big boom
It can
tires.
be a motorcycle.
That's not an ATV.
Which it doesn't kind of, I mean, I guess dirt bikes could be in there, but you can have it on off and that should be registered anyway.
Right.
And that can go anywhere.
Oh, maybe that's, yeah. So you can, like you say, you can actually, through the state of Vermont, register a dirt bike. As long as it's got the requirements to drive on the road, just like any other motorcycle. So it wouldn't really matter.
Like there's people driving scooters. These little
Oh, yeah.
scooters, they go right up the
They go
street.
right down our street. And the same neighbor does have the dirt bike.
Those bikes.
Little Vespas.
Neighbor?
Yeah, he's got scooters and he's got the dirt bike.
Now, last night at the concert, there were 2 guys that had, I don't know what you call them, they're 2 wheels, but they stand on them.
Scooter.
They had a headlight A scooter?
They got them down at Burlington.
What the hell's the name of those things?
That's like it's like
Is it isn't it like
No,
a Segway? St. Albans City PD has them, has a couple of them.
yes.
I feel like it's.
I can't think of what they're calling them right now. Gyro, or they have a lot of gyros in them. They're
Yep.
basically two wheels and a handle and a headlight.
Yeah.
And
They were all over Enosburg last
You
night.
need one of those,
so
with a trailer.
technically, they're not supposed
cart
to be in the
pulled in, yeah.
roads, but I don't think you can ride those on the sidewalks either.
I don't know what
Yeah.
the deal is with those and where they're allowed to be and not
They
allowed
were
to
going
be.
right along.
Maybe they're like a bicycle rule.
You see them.
And I see-
Like I said, you go to Burlington.
Right.
There's
yeah,
three-
They rent them down there.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
You can rent
DC,
them.
you can get the best rentals for.
They do
$100.
like
I think they're Segways, aren't they?
Segway. That's like the main brand.
Yeah.
There's 3 different little girls that have them. They're all over. Those are electric.
Yeah, they have like electric scooters too for kids.
I don't know, but I think they're cute.
Yeah.
It's a good alternative.
Kids out in the back walking.
So at this point, we'll change village, I'll ask, or I can add village parks to that.
Yep.
Again, I'm not a lawyer, so, but, I mean, I did have the lawyer in Mount Legacy in town. I mean, it's kind of they've gone through this, so.
Yeah, and I guess like just to like, forget to just put it was to, you could add like and roads not designated on. Is that over redundant?
The roads weren't on there?
No, I just like saying, because of roads being like public property or whatever, you could say, like add and the roads not listed on the
Oh,
map.
okay.
Just an editing thing on the section 4, it says ATVs maybe, should be maybe 2 words.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have that circled. I have a couple of spelling things.
Yeah, I think there was a couple more too. I was reading it on my computer and it's harder to catch all the edits when it's on your computer. I also kind of wondered if there's a reason it only, the fines stop at 3rd offense. What happens if it's a 4th offense or more? Like, is there a point in which, like,
They
can
lose
somebody
their-
lose their license from,
Yeah, somewhere they
do
lose
they
their
get points
privilege.
or something?
I think they lose their privilege
That,
with VASA.
yeah, I would assume VASA or probably, they police their own.
So what's,
So you're saying the verbiage on, it should say 3rd offense or more?
I don't think it can cause the individual to like lose their license. However, if they're operating any motor vehicle
Vermont,
on a state road, they can get charged with criminal DLS
okay.
or DUI or anything of that sort, because
And
that
what's-
happen at Richard with the lawnmower.
What, okay, I feel like I know that. What happens if they're driving one of these and they're not part of VASA? What's the
that's where
penalty there?
those,
The offenses come
those
in.
were those offenses.
This is the offenses for hours in single file and racing. But I don't see one for not being part of the organization.
It is right here, number 4.
Yeah.
So that
Section
lists stuff, but if you read the whole thing, it is listed above.
Section 11A4.
Operation without registration and Bassett Trail
Under
access
penalties.
details.
Okay, now go next. Number 4.
Yep, I guess maybe I got confused because some of these actually have money amounts designated next to them and the rest does not.
Because I think, again, like Abby just said, I think if you're not registered now, you're just going by what the state regulation is that you're breaking.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So if you're on Route 105 going out of the village, there's already laws against that.
Okay,
So if you're
So
not,
then they will get written up whatever law that is or ticket that is.
got it, okay.
We're just creating the laws or regulation within the village at this point, or after.
So
this is
if they
passed.
happen to drive on a road, say School Street, that's not on the map, it would be the top part.
Correct.
It'd be number 7 and so on versus number 8. Okay, thank you for the clarification.
Yep.
I think I got confused on that.
If you have someone that constantly violates some of this ordinance, who's responsible for checking on that person?
It'd be law.
I mean, law enforcement, I don't,
The club themselves.
yeah, the club sounds like they will be.
Not state. State's the only people we have now, so.
Oh, you're saying,
If it's not state, then it's the club.
like if there's a 4-wheeler going around at 11 o'clock at night, or side by side.
Let's say he's not part of the group.
Right, so my understanding,
So
according
state.
according to the club that was in here, they're gonna help police and they'll report, and then it ultimately falls on
Have to be the state.
the state police. On 1 or 10 or whatever.
Or future
offenses.
police agreements that we have here.
Probably this group really doesn't to really get after someone if they're causing issues.
They can't fine anybody based on this.
Right, but so if there's people outside of the group, I think they said in the last meeting, they can't, like, they fall under like the laws of you can't ride on any road if you're not in the group. So they fall under the state sheriff or police departments of any judicial issues falls into that. If they're in the group and they're having issues, they said they're very self-policing. They will get kicked out of the group, putting them into that same category. You can't go on any road without breaking the law, which would be above. That's from what I understood what they were saying last time.
Correct.
Are we misunderstanding what you're asking?
No, it just seems that the enforcement might be a little loose, that's all.
It's all for everyone. It's not just
Not just this
ATVs.
topic.
That also brings up the person doing donuts, you know,
Yeah.
they fall under a registered vehicle, but yeah.
They're registered, but they're not supposed to be doing it.
Like a half hour before the meeting, somebody was screwing around heading out West Enosburg Road, and I was like,
Dave, assuming that we had regular police coverage, was there, do you still feel like there's something loose in the enforcement?
I guess not. I guess not. I guess if the police organization, well, it would be our police force. So they would assume that document is the rule. So,
It's no difference to the 25 and 35 miles per hour at this point.
but then.
We can change it all we want, but-
But then would they really be allowed to say?
Are you
"Hey,
this guy?"
you gotta find $50.
So any police officer that had jurisdiction in our
Enforcement
area
officer,
would then be able
so-
to
Issue these?
issue
No, I can't do
fines for
I can only
this, and
do
then it'd go through the system. Which is,
Bottom line, there's not gonna be any enforcement. It's the same thing that came up at the last meeting, there's no enforcement. Some
We have an
communities
update, we have an update on that tonight, right?
Some communities have.
Yeah.
Not a good one? Okay.
It's not like the police are rolling in tomorrow.
Right.
Well, it is, my original thought was allowing another motorized vehicle to use the street, even though these laws are in effect, seems like inviting a little more of what's going on.
Do we get any kickbacks from
Hopefully
Vasa?
someday we're gonna get a handle on this.
just the fact that they can buy gas or, eat at a restaurant, economic.
And they'll do all the posting, like you said.
Cover your ears, Rona. Ooh, that was horrible. Sorry.
Should be.
We got right here, we got Abby. She goes for supper at the Phoenix House. She'd like to come into Enosburg, but the law says you can't come into Enosburg. So here,
She's too busy doing
Right,
donuts.
maybe Abby's not the best example.
no, but I mean, these are the people that are bringing money into the village, and we're saying, no, you can't come in. So they're going outside the village, they're going all over the place.
But keep in mind, the problem is not her and the other people in the clubs.
Right, and that's kind of where we're kind of looking into this ordinance, is because those problems are here. If they're doing it, yes or no, anytime. But now we're keeping away the people that are not the problem. And that's what we're trying to open up just a little bit more for the businesses, or even for somebody to travel through, like if somebody's going from Bakersfield.
I don't have a problem with the whole program except for the lack of enforcement.
Yeah, I
Right.
hear that, and I think that's why I've been advocating to make sure that this is a very public conversation, because so far, mostly the groups that we're hearing are those advocating for this, and it's hard to know the sentiments of the majority of the community at this point. I'm hearing several people not wanting to do this, but I'm also hearing most of the people coming to the meeting want it.
For one thing, if you notice a scofflaw in violation of this, how do you report it to the proper authority?
You just call police, the state police.
And give them what for information?
Time, location,
Yeah, time, location.
vehicle description.
No different than
Driver
somebody robbing a
description.
store.
Florida. Half people don't have the license plates on their cars anymore, so I don't know. And black.
I mean, I
Honda
definitely
Civic,
hear the point.
Loud motor,
like,
loud
yeah.
exhaust.
I fully hear the point, though. Like, there are
paper
two
plates
trains of thought with this, and there's definitely, I think, a lot of validity into moving forward with an ordinance without the ability to do much about it. Just hearing the same with like our temporary park here for a certain amount of hours stuff, but
So essentially, other than village and parks on the roads, a couple grammar issues. That's basically all we need to change in the ordinance. And then, I guess the ordinance is set, and then from there, it's up to the board to decide what you want to do. Do you want to I mean, at this point, we have some time because I think they shut down anyway in a certain time, like October, November. I think VASA shuts down. I think it's beginning of October. So you have a few months through the winter, but remember, it does take, 60 days for the ordinance to, in a perfect world, go from start to finish and be approved, if it is approved or if it's accepted.
should that be added in section 6, time of operation, about the exclusion of winter months?
Again, that's a VASA rule. They're gonna follow into VASA. They pull their signs, I believe, and they pack up, and that's shut down, just like VAST. So
I think one of the things that might be like confusing me is not knowing all of VASA's rules. And so for a person just reading this, it's hard to know, like, we've got the time in there. Is that a VASA rule or is that our rule?
That would probably, I don't think they have an hours of operation for VASA. So
I agree we can definitely have VASA show up. For public comment meeting, I think we should have VASA here to help explain all that. I look at it like duck hunting. Every year it changes. And it's my responsibility to go find out where I can hunt them, how I can hunt, and what time, what zone, all that stuff. If I don't, and I do it wrong, I get a ticket. It's just, there's a book out there that they put out every year and tells me all that stuff. So it's my job to go get my licenses properly and define that. And if not, I get a ticket. I guess that's the way I look at it. So same with this scenario. If I'm going to buy an ATV, I'm gonna have to go research all that stuff to find out where I can ride, how I can ride, and all that. For the public meeting, I agree, because there's people that probably don't care at all about it, but they want to know because they live on Main Street. So for the public meeting, we should have all that information prepared so that VASA can answer those questions, maybe even ask a state trooper or a game warden to come, type of thing. You know,
Game warden would be actually good.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that for public comment, so someone that doesn't know the world can understand it.
Yeah,
and make a good
because I feel
decision.
like I'm asking questions that are covered under VESA because I don't drive one and I'm not part of that organization. But I want to make sure that we're speaking to all of the what ifs.
Yeah.
You must have a rule book.
It's online, I
He's
actually
got it
just pulled
pulled
it
up right
up.
now.
VermontVASA.org.
If it does get to the point where you do allow them through, I would think we might want to see if we could get a stack of those books and keep them here.
That's a good point.
So they,
Oh, yeah, we would, yeah. If we get to that point, we definitely
so
would.
they'd be available.
Yeah.
So did you have another question? Okay, sorry. Okay, you did.
Would be very interested to look at the book too.
Yeah, I think VASA runs a lot like VAST. For snowmobiles, just opposite times of the year. And that's why it was really created for the people that like to go out and trail ride a snowmobile. But you can't do that in the summer.
Do they ride the snowmobile first? You know,
Through here,
no, do the side by sides?
They're not allowed on the.
they're not allowed on those trails. There's two opposite ends of the world.
I mean, there might be some trails, but the majority
Rail
no.
trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it specifically says in here that they're not allowed on the rail trail.
So would you extend that to Mass,
Extend what?
Open Street? Mass is the Skidoo.
Right, the Skidoo, the snowmobiles. Would you extend what to them?
But probably not, because I mean, it's a different, they're not.
But they can ride the
Rail
rail
trail.
trails,
They
so
can
they have
park off
access
them.
to stop and kind of,
Yeah, they can,
They don't need.
yeah, they stop in the mobile, they can stop at Kathy's, they can stop.
yeah,
Walk.
they park along the rail trail and go to the tavern all the time. in the
Yeah, I've
wintertime.
seen them walk up and down the main street with their helmets and stuff. That's a good question, because I don't think Montgomery doesn't allow VASA. But I know when I used to snowmobile, we'd go right into the village.
I think
We used to ride.
Season's Notch is one of their only roads that they don't allow four-wheelers on.
Yeah, but yeah, so we used to go into the village on our snowmobiles though.
Montgomery's in a different place.
That is true.
I don't know what, yeah, I don't, guess they paid attention to the law, I could've got a ticket.
He's from Montgomery. Like career.
Montgomery has not changed in
100 years.
70 years.
It's changing now.
So I don't think,
Teresa Bagash lives, cousin of mine, right in Montgomery, right by Snowshoe Lodge. And she says, I'm doing something and I hear them coming. She says, I gotta stop. She says, I admire. She says, they go by, they're very courteous, she says, there's one little jerk that went into my driveway, the barn across the road, and he did like a figure eight, and his gravel was onto the blacktop. And she went out, she's 91 years old. She went out with a broom and she swept it off. She says, one little jerk is trying to spoil it for everybody. And she says, who was gonna pay for it? She said, I was, because that little stone on the blacktop was gonna hit my window,
Yeah,
break my window. But here she's 91 and she approves of them. She says, if I was younger, I'd have one. Yeah. She loves to see them go by. She said they're all a happy group, just enjoying themselves.
She doesn't rent a new one. Okay, I digress.
So we don't need to make a motion
There's no
today, because
motion.
we're just making some edits and we'll come back to this at another, next month.
So I'll make the edits and then we can revisit in September and then you can decide from there. What you wanna do for vote, to vote to go, or how to vote, whatever.
Okay. Any further discussion, or can we make some edits and take another peek at it?
Why can't we move it along today to a public information meeting?
We have to have
You wanna have-
this,
you
we
have the
need the
draft to
edits.
You don't have the draft to be correct, I guess.
You guys have to, the draft has to be finalized, we have to make the motion, you guys sign off on it, then it gets posted for the public comment, so it's not ready for a motion or to be signed off on yet.
Right, but we're not, the plan is not to approve and pass an ordinance, it's that we were gonna have a draft for the, to have a
Yeah,
community
a draft, an
presentation
edited draft that we are
before
comfortable
an
with.
ordinance is approved. So we're
I
trying
guess
to
it-
be more transparent and solicit more feedback than we normally do with our ordinance changes.
So it needs to be ready, it's not ready, there's some changes to be made.
I mean, I guess you can put a date on the books of a public meeting. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I mean, we keep pushing it down the road, if we wait till the next meeting.
Would it help though
to-
to have somebody from VASA, because we have to coordinate with other informational people? So if we, are you saying to just say we're going to have an informational meeting or have a date? Because if we want to get a game warden there to kind of talk about the rules, or if we want to have somebody from VASA there to have a presentation, notify the businesses, things like that, you'd have to coordinate.
And I wouldn't think that'd be a problem. I would put it out past the September meeting so that we know. So you're presenting this as the draft. I mean, kind of a draft still maybe, but the final draft. When you have that public meeting and then you have VASA and a game warden there.
So you could probably pick a date by email after you've,
So I'd probably have to track down a game warden and VASA first. Assuming VASA would be, they seem to be willing to come in whenever, but probably have to track down a game warden.
and I wonder, we would either want to facilitate it ourselves or see if there's somebody who could facilitate, because would like to have a good ordered conversation versus it becoming like a strong heated debate.
We have a town moderator,
Okay. That
I'm
might
gonna throw
help.
Pat under the bus totally. I mean,
Yeah.
we could reach out to Pat to facilitate the meeting.
Yeah.
Might kick me for that one, but that's okay.
You what, maybe.
So do you want me to, I don't even think you have to make a motion per se to set up a meeting at this point, but we can, I
Probably we'll
can,
warn it ahead of time so that.
Yeah.
yeah. So I can, so you want me to, at this point, I'm just trying to track down dates from a game warden and VASA and then put that together.
And I wonder if there are any communities that would be willing to have a representative that have recently passed.
There were some at the first meetings. There's 3-4 guys from Swanton, from the Swanton Club that were here.
I meant like officials.
He
Like-
was the head of VAS.
I meant like select board. Town
on the
officials,
select
yeah.
board. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, because you know, for example, like I've heard two different answers about whether or not it was beneficial for Newport. A few years ago when we looked into it, the answer was no, but I'm hearing now that maybe it was. But I feel like, I don't know, it's just a different perspective.
I know in Newport, there was a bunch of hellraisers to start with, but I guess they cleaned that up. And now the restaurants made special parking for them to come They're bringing money into Newport.
How did that happen? How did they clean it up?
Special park.
Pardon?
Golf cart.
How did they clean it up?
Number one, we gotta.
They must have had law enforcement.
Yeah.
I
They have a
don't,
police department.
That's like one of the big things that we have
Law
noticed
enforcement.
is the places that have this past have police enforcement.
Yeah.
Which is a very big reservation of mine.
Yeah.
Of us not having the ability to enforce
Maybe we should
anything.
talk to Bakersfield because they do not have a police enforcement.
Sheldon does not have
And
police
Sheldon does not, and they're
enforcement.
both
All
kind
their
of
roads-
relatively new.
Sheldon's relatively new to having all of their roads open. Bakersfield has always been open.
Highgate's fairly new.
Actually, yeah, Bakersfield's been that way for a long
Bakersfield's
time. A long time.
They
Like
do
20
something
years.
unusual over there about buying a license or something.
They started to try to regulate it a little bit more, and you had to buy basically like a Bakersfield decal. It was like $10 or $15. You have to buy, and that was just another, the way that their ordinance is written, it was another kind of like form of enforcement. You had to have proof of VASA, I believe, and then buy their decal as well.
Can you one of you get a copy of that and send that to us?
Of what?
I
What
can.
Bakersfield has done?
Yeah, I'm sure Abby can.
It's kind of a lot like duck hunting again. Like you buy a federal tag, which is good in every state, but then some states have state tags. You know, so you have to buy that extra tag.
I have a radical proposition. Do you suppose that the governing body would be willing to contribute a little cash to cover some extra coverage via the sheriff's department or whomever?
That's the next topic. The answer's not no, just how is the question.
Okay, so we'll move forward with looking for a date.
at this
and
point,
we'll
we're-
look at another draft at our next meeting.
So draft, and I'll send out dates or times for dates for. And I'll probably start with the game warden because that sounds like probably the hardest person to round up, and then it sounds
a
like
couple cell phone numbers.
I was gonna say,
Like a-
track down a couple for you pretty quickly.
I don't want it.
And Abby will get us the copy of Bakersfield's.
It's not coming up on their website.
For their own.
Yeah, I'll call Kathy tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Oh, there you go, John. That's a segue to you, managers.
All right, I'll make it quick. Keep this moving along here. So update on sidewalk project. We talked about Pearl Street. Elm Street is completed. I guess we got some good. I didn't make it to touch a truck, but Shauna gave me some good feedback, and Joey from the town. I guess folks are using it. The only dilemma we've run into right now is it's a dispute between the engineers on what was designed and the size, and then what was actually done and who followed it. So we are gonna have to go back and change the J-View corner a little bit. So I guess the south or west side of J-View Drive, that corner, the plate was not. The plate was the right size, but it wasn't done properly. So that's the dispute. So we got to change that plate. At this point, everybody agrees that the village shouldn't be on the hook for any of it.
Okay.
We're just trying to find out between the engineers who's going to pay for it.
Okay.
The designing engineer, because we had a different designing engineer as opposed to the on-the-ground engineer. Because at that time, the designing engineer said they didn't have the capacity to be the boots on the ground engineer, the on-site, so.
Grant requirement too, because we're
It
gonna have
is,
to have
yeah.
a different one for this project too.
Yeah,
Interesting.
so that's where that project's at. Other than that, it's basically done. Like I said, we're just getting some good usage. Billing and AMI, we keep plugging away at that. Again, it's one of those things, I think it's it's like a duck. Our feet are going 100 miles in the water, but it doesn't seem like we're doing much on top.
That's a really good analogy.
But we try to make it look like
Right.
we're nice and calm. But yeah, I mean, we're working through the billings. We made it through a couple billings, and Fabio wants to add to that. But we've made it through a couple billings now. We just have some questions, some customers calling in on some questions, signing up for Smart Hub, just getting some of that cleaned up. So that's all flowing and working. Monday, water meters start. So we have water meter installations for AMI meters is going in at starting Monday. We hired Backflow to do that. So far they've been great to work with. There's a lady that's been doing all of the scheduling. It was kind of part of their contract. So they're doing all the scheduling and so forth. And she's been great. She's been trying to question the folks to find out if they have turn-offs in the house or have to go out physically. There's some businesses, Franklin Foods and things like that. So that should hopefully all come together. That starts on Monday. And then all of our DCUs up. So our DCUs are the radios that the guys put up, and they're all commissioned. So in the village and out in the town, so all of those are up and active, and they're just waiting to be used, I guess. So again, those are the radios that talk to the house, the piece of equipment on the side of the house, and then sorry, I just thought of something. And then talks back to our billing system. We're waiting on some of our power, so all of our water meters are in, and the MTUs, that piece of equipment we put on the side of the house, are in, and they're in our billing system. We're waiting on our power meters to come in. We've got a small assortment of the oddball ones, like the bigger phase 3 type power meters, but our bulk order that go on majority houses hasn't come in yet, but it's supposed to ship Friday. So we're waiting for that to come in. So again, we're trying to stay calm, but it's been interesting. There's a lot of moving parts to put together to pull all this off. Tomorrow, this is an Abbey project. Tomorrow, our crack repair, we mentioned it multiple times, again, maybe Jason's new. So we have a crack underneath the village hydro, and that's getting repaired starting tomorrow. So they're gonna drain the channel and fix those holes and repairs both at the bridge and at the village. Kind of a requirement of FERC that we've not gotten done, and now we're getting it done. So they're supposed to mobilize and finish mobilizing tomorrow. We've got a lot of the fill that they needed already here. Open house, for those of you that haven't been around for the open house yet. So Harvest Day weekend for the village for the Harvest Fest is Saturday, the September 20th. The first couple of years we did it year to year, but we've now decided to skip a year and do it every other year. So now we're doing it this year. So we'll do open house. We usually set up out here. We have at least one person, if not more, at each department. So the highway guys come over here with the trucks and stuff. So we'll have trucks on site, wastewater. You can do wastewater tours. You can do, we open up the gates. They can do tours of the hydros, ask us questions. That could be a good time for us to talk about ATVs. We try to bring some of the hot topics that are going on in the village out then and kind of put them on the table, so to spring people's memories of what they could ask about and talk to us about. And then some history stuff. We have some pictures. We put out some pictures and stuff around. At this point, VEPSA will be there as well. They'll have a table. So they'll speak to public power a little bit and municipal power. And then obviously you're all welcome to come or join or be a part of the table, and we'd love to have you. The dam removal up in Berkshire. They're mobilizing. Again, for some of the new board members, we have the dam, the old reservoir up in Berkshire. Trout Brook. So that's going to be coming out. They're going to be starting probably by the end of the week. We've got all the paperwork in from Army Corps of Engineers, and I believe they started mobilizing, and they're going to start that work.
Nice.
What road's that on?
Reservoir Road?
It's on Reservoir.
Yeah.
So
That's where our wells are.
Yeah, it's where our wells are. That's all I got at this time.
You said you were gonna talk about policing.
Oh, do you want that in this section? Okay. So I talked to Dean today. Basically, not a ton of update. I guess what Dean wanted to put forth is the ball is still rolling. They're still working on getting a police force. They really haven't sidetracked from that and looked for other coverage or anything like that. The goal really is to pull off getting a police force. I guess they kind of started down the road of writing a job description and getting a chief and start interviewing, and then sounds like somebody had reached out to them. I don't know who, they didn't mention who. It sounded like a pretty good candidate that could fill that role reached out. So they kind of put things on halt and kind of went down that road a little bit with this person, and then didn't turn out. So now they're kind of back to zero. They're back working with some folks to write a job description and finish that and get back out and start advertising a sheriff, but somebody that has their credentials that could help, start this from grassroots, just not someone. So they're probably looking for someone a little more experienced.
So it would be somebody that is like a full police officer.
Yeah, probably you need someone with some experience that's done a majority
and
of
they
it.
haven't finished the job description yet, so they haven't actually posted the job anywhere.
My understanding, correct, that they haven't 100% finished the job description and posted it. I mean, I guess they had some internal feelers out and they talked to a couple people, and like I said, this one other person seemed like a good fit. So they kind of went down that road and then it didn't turn out. So they're back to finishing the job description. And
I feel like, aren't they required to post a job, or is that just because I work with union stuff?
I don't think they have to post it. It'd be in their policies.
Okay.
It's up to them. If they have a policy, then yeah, they would have to post. If they don't, then that's. So that was the police update, I guess. That was what. And I can answer questions if I can. I can't say I can.
Joint meeting,
What's that?
joint meeting at some point.
So I do have that. Yep, that was asked to. They asked to start throwing out some dates. They were thinking October. Again, Dean made it sound like we can either try to fit it in at their meeting or one of our meetings. Ours would be the 14th of October. Theirs are the 6th and 20th of October. Fit it in one of those meetings, or if we want, they'd be open to doing it a different night too.
I wonder about a different night, because my concern is like having on the same night is like trying to rush through a conversation.
Yeah, he's fine with either one. So.
If we do October, just for me, earlier would be better, because we've got software conversion in October.
Yeah, no, I told him too, because usually.
And it would be really good to get like a conversation going before we get into budgeting season.
Well, then you're gonna need to do it a lot sooner than October.
Well,
Like yesterday. Or early October, you would be fine, because that's when we're gonna start the discussion, but not
Right.
any later than that.
yeah,
So do you want to look at your calendars for the first week of October?
that's probably fine for
Or
me.
you don't have to do it now. You can email me. We can. The 6th, you can have it. I'm not. It's my wife's birthday. I want to stay married, so I won't be there. But other than that, I don't have anything. We're closed the 13th, but we can still have a meeting, I guess. It comes there. Okay. Right back from me. We'll bring it immediately.
Just kidding, I don't care.
I can talk with Julie Joe and we can throw out some dates and.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think
I
it's
think I'm pretty open, other than the 14th would be our meeting, and then I have another board meeting on the 15th.
How about the 7th of October?
Tuesday.
That'd be a
Seems open to me
Tuesday.
for now.
Should be okay.
Anytime after dark.
Yeah, what do you retired guys have to that day? So 6:30 at 7 p.m. at the EMS building, tentatively. Does that work, Larry?
That should.
All right, I'll throw that out to Billy, Joe, and go from there. Yeah, we have a short list of topics we've already come up with, so
Who's technically the host for that one?
I'd have to look back. I don't remember who it
I
was.
believe
It's been
it's their turn,
so
but-
long. When was our last one? I don't,
We were supposed to have one in April.
yeah, I thought it's been a while.
And then it-
one 2 years ago.
That is you folks. I think select board did it last time.
I think, we did it last time. I'm pretty sure this one's all done.
Well, we always do it at the
We
EMS
always do it
building.
there anyway, but.
Yeah.
This, I
The whole
want
concept of hosting seems weird to me, sort of, like it's a joint meeting.
Yeah, I mean, it's, yeah, I don't
I think
understand
it's
it
whoever does
either.
the agenda and the official minutes.
But I guess I feel like we should both be contributing to the agenda. It's not our agenda, it's not their agenda. It is a joint agenda.
Well, it kind of is. It's just who types it up, I guess. Like in the past, I've asked Billy Joe to give me, we'll go at one of their meetings, come up with a list. And then I'll put our list and whatever we don't have equal, I guess. So I'll talk to Billy Joe. It doesn't, yeah, right, it doesn't really matter. I'll talk to her and we'll figure out who will write up the agenda and I'll throw out that date.
Okay,
to
thank you.
mention a couple of things. So we talked about electric bikes a little while ago. Newport Police Department have at least one electric bike that they're patrolling every now and then on,
Oh, really?
which is kind of interesting. I think it's good because it gets them out in the public, you know, and really close to what's going on.
Yeah.
St. Albans has been doing it for, they're on regular bikes, but
Yeah.
quite a few years now.
One other thing, so our daughter and family just came back from France and talking about the speeding. So they drove a lot over there, I don't know, a couple thousand miles anyway. And she said that they have an automated system to check for speeders in their boxes along the highway. They could be anywhere and people don't know where they are. And if a car is speeding as they go by one of those things, it's recorded. Now they must do it forward. Because what they end up doing is, it's not a whole automatic system. It ends up sending fines out to these people. So,
Yeah, Vermont just doesn't allow that.
Yeah,
she said she's not sure. She's a little bit worried about going to her mailbox.
Well, they do it in New York, because they,
Some states do it, but I think Vermont is
Vermont does not
against the
allow
law. We used to have the plate readers on some of the cruisers, and that was actually challenged, and it is against the law for them to
Yeah,
do that.
so that's like one of those things that could reach out to our state reps about.
Yeah.
Be a great tool.
Is there anything for other business?
I'm waiting for the grand list from the town to be able to do the tax rate. Supposedly the end of this week, they're supposed to have it done. So depending on the timeline of getting that, I do wanna try to get that set out sooner rather than later, just because I do have another software conversion in front of me. So depending on the timing of that, I may ask for a special meeting to set the tax rate. If not, then it's probably gonna be on the September one will still give us the time to stay within our normal timeline. But just kind of keep that on everybody's radar. Depending on the timing of getting it, I may be asking for a special meeting to set the tax rate.
The street light on Pleasant and Elm is not working
on the corner,
on the corner.
just gets hit by trucks every day.
So true.
I'll put on the to-do list, Leonard.
Anyway, we have a department head meeting tomorrow.
And could I ask the pole on my lawn, if it's not gonna be used, could I have it removed?
I guess so.
Maybe. For an extra fee.
For an extra fee, okay.
Have we accounted for extra truck traffic on Depot Street with the speed bumps on Pleasant?
Well, that's technically how they're supposed to go.
They are, okay.
Yeah, that's
So
technically their
so
route.
there's a win there then, okay.
Yeah.
So that's the route.
Well, that's why they built that driveway next to the gates and so they can just go.
Right.
So basically just going down Depot. I don't know if GPSs, they're not calling GPSs or,
They don't work because half the tractor trailers go down Missisquoi Street.
yeah, they go.
And you try to turn from Pleasant onto Missisquoi and you have a hard time.
Alright, my dream to build the road down there, it's gonna come true.
Is
Before I retire.
there a plan with that greenhouse
Oh, yeah.
on Pleasant Street that was supposed to be expanding their driveway? Did you
Oh, I haven't heard, I haven't.
just kind of wonder, once I see that what was once a blue house now is a dark grayish colored house, about the sale of that house when there's the greenhouse sitting there.
Yeah, it's
All boarded up.
Oh, you mean the one that's been being renovated?
Yeah, so they're still trying to sell that yellow house, and then that house, then there's the house being renovated, and then there's that greenhouse. That,
They were supposed to
It's just-
tear it down,
that's what I thought.
but I think
We
their
got-
project timelines have been put on
Yeah.
hold and pushed back,
The
so.
project's been pushed back. I don't know if it was excused, I don't know, but like supposedly there was a lot of like asbestos in there, so it'd be a lot more than they expected to have it tore down, which.
I think I noticed a crack in the water fountain, but it also looked like maybe it got patched on Monday. My way off. Looked like the.
Yes, no, you're right. It's something we're gonna have to look at in the future.
Okay, so you might have to look into some repairs for the water fountain.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it just like structural?
I don't
Just
know, I gotta
kind of-
follow up again. Cause we had a couple things cause I mean, today at the BCA meeting, the bandstands brought back up. It may be a good time for us, cause one of the reasons why we kinda don't mind having that basement there is cause that's where the water pump is for the fountain. But this spring when they opened up the fountain, they found that there could be a small leak between the fountain and the pump. So if we gotta dig it up, is it a good time to get it out of there and put like a little doghouse somewhere and move the pump? Cause they drain it every year anyway. So is it a good time to move it out of there so we have one less thing in there, so if something changes, so we have a few projects we gotta, I guess, A, budget for, B, discuss.
Okay.
Cause that keeps coming up, but the bandstand. So, cause the other thing we did send the light guys down there, they're gonna look at it as a rainy day project, and the lighting down there is terrible. I mean, there isn't any right now, that's all been ruined. So they're gonna rip that out and put a couple new lights in down there, but not go overboard, cause we don't know what's gonna happen with it.
Okay, I think.
Bedtime?
Yeah, it is.
It is. I agree.
All right, thank you for coming.
I gotta make the ice cream shop, we got 27 minutes. I go to 9, right?
I think so.
I always settle for McDonald's Sunday. Do they even do ice cream anymore?
I don't know.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else for other business? If not, I'll hear a motion to go into executive for the purpose of discussing personnel evaluations, possible executive session. Okay, just made the move.
So,
Second, good. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Hi.